So, hello, welcome everybody to my talk about Sybil and fraud detection. Just a question in the start, does anybody know what a Sybil is? Yeah? You know? You want to say it? Yeah. Exactly, this is the thing. So, it's a thing that someone uses a computer network to get around the reputation, and one individual creates more individuals than he has. And this is a sentence also from Gitcoin, and there's a very nice image of what it shows like. You have this alt accounts, bots, whatever they do, and this is kind of a Sybil attack, and this happened also before in the Web 2. So I think everybody knows also like a voting system where some of your friends say, hey, I'm here in this competition, can you vote for me? And the people have like computer at work, computer at home, their mobile phone. So they use kind of the three things to vote on the system. And what we have here is a very nice example from Spotify. Spotify was farmed out in 2015, where someone created 500 accounts. Free Spotify, uploaded his own tracks to Spotify, and by this he gained $5,000 per month, just playing his own tracks with his own Sybils. The thing is here with the Web 2, this data is not accessible for us. So this can only be solved by Spotify itself, if they know which IP is belonging to them. And this comes now into Web 3. In Web 3, this is Sybil attacks, threatening the financial stability, fostering fraud, can happen market manipulation, eroding trust in the ecosystem. I mean, we have these pillars of decentralized finance, where we want to have a fair governance system, and especially also with airdrops, incentives, and all stuff like this, you take away somehow this fair claiming rewards from other people, and someone gaining more than he has. This is also a very nice example where a developer made his own token. He split this into 70 wallets, and it's increased somehow even the TVL, the user activity, and so on. We will also come later into this again, but we see here directly he has 50% of his own tokens distributed into 70 wallets. So everybody, when someone bought this token, he sold it. So what is a Sybil in detail? We have three different kinds of Sybil that we can cluster. It's a human, it's a bot, or nowadays there are kind of apps, especially on Telegram, they are really known nowadays. So a human Sybil is mostly that you do this interaction by yourself. A bot is mostly written with a script. And these new apps, they are a little bit more smarter than bots because they have also kind of a algorithm behind, so they are not showing completely exactly timestamps. Here is an example of a human. He withdraw from Binance his day and then spread it over 30 wallets to be part in this airdrop. This is a bot. We see here that he sends like in nearly every 20 blocks or 10 blocks a new transaction, and also the transaction amount was exactly the same. This was an example from Gitcoin, from quadratic founding, so he tried to go under the quadratic founding there. Now we're coming into some airdrops. Aptos, this is a layer 1 from ex-Facebook employees, this kind of Libra, where they had this project. And Aptos made an, I would say, quite easy airdrop to farm out because they had this testnet, and everybody who minted there his NFT got a reward. So they didn't have any Sybil checks on this, and it ended up that 65% of the tokens directly was going into Sybil wallets. One wallet had like nearly 200,000 tokens, and what happened here with Aptos was a selling pressure. So when the first big Sybil started to sell, the price dropped from $15 down to $13, and then more and more people was also selling it. and it crashed down to $6.7. Next we have Arbitrum. Arbitrum was kind of smart. They checked already, made a good Sybil check, but what Arbitrum didn't look into was other layer 2s or other layer 1s. So they only checked the data on Ethereum mainnet and on Arbitrum. So if I would have made my Sybils on Optimism and bridged back to Arbitrum, I would not be detected. So 20% of the tokens ended up as well in Sybil wallets. Next we have Optimism. Optimism has a little bit another way how they made the airdrop. They had this kind of 4 airdrops. So the first one was for the first users of the mainnet, the second one was for the active users of the mainnet, and every time when you even take part in a governance, so you keep your tokens inside, you get a multiplier. And this is something where they try to achieve this incentive spread much better, because so there's also not this kind of massive selling pressure. And also they use the community and ask if they know some Sybils. So at the end, they removed from 70,000 addresses 40 million Optimism tokens before they spread it out. Hop, the bridge Hop, they pioneered some kind of Sybil hunter program. This data is also still available on GitHub. And Arbitrum, for example, used exactly this list to filter out also Sybils. This has a good side, but also can be a bad side, because Connext tried to make the same like Hop. What was happened with Connext, that the people was making so many reports that the team was overwhelmed by the submissions. And not only this, there was one Sybil attacker, he sent it to 30,000 wallets of the 65,000 wallets which been around. He sent it small amounts of Ether or even just 1 cent. And so there was a lot of Sybil hunter, they put it in these addresses and say like there's a Sybil and there's a Sybil, but at the end this was not a Sybil, this was just a Sybil attacker, and someone was using disperser and dispersed quite small amounts. And this gives also connections. And also what was later there was this kind of rumor that Sybil hunters have been also Sybils by themselves. So now comes the question, who verifies the verifier? This address was on the Hop positive list. And what this guy was doing, he sent his ENS to a new address. And then he come as a Sybil hunter. So I'm coming now into some methods, an example how you can trace back Sybils. This can be done by, this is very good example, same central exchange deposit address, then Flytrap, which is my own technology. We can use gas detection, cross-chain bridges, token transfers, so directly on-chain, transactions time, timestamps, the wallet age, chain interactions, transaction amount, contract interactions, and bulk transfers from dispersers. So what we see here is a deposit of 2 people in the same central exchange of Bybit. So it is very clear that it's the same person, 2 wallets, the same person, because who else using the same deposit address? And also what you can see here is a withdrawal from a central exchange. But this needs more factors to calculate in. So we, for example, see here this person was using Avalanche on the 1st of April to the same time. The wallet age has the same time, he had the same interactions, and also when we look deeper, he had also the same contract interactions. So by saying this, you could even say, tracing back, that it's from the central exchange withdraw the same person. Here's this Flytrap that I explained. This is an example from a Solidly fork. So there was also an airdrop, and someone made 70 wallets as well and grabbed a lot of these airdrops, incentives from this Solidly fork. And especially when we speak about Solidly, there's also kind of a voting mechanism behind that you vote for the next incentives. So this could be even there manipulated if you gain a lot of power over airdrops. Here we have the gas and transaction amount. This is exactly the same bot that I explained before. So here he sent it every time like $10 to Gitcoin. And also what we see here, it's exactly the same gas price, every time 90 gray. So his bots even rating that he is going to exactly 90 gray. And this can be traced back. Here we have an example of a cross-chain bridge. So this guy was farming out the cross-chain. He sent it over Livey, some token to another wallet. And then next month he get the money back. He used also some other protocols, and then he sent it out the money to another address. And this is kind of a chain link transfer, what we also see like here. So he sent it also like forwarding. This is also here we have a bulk transfer, and then he used also kind of this chain link transfers. And this is an example from Galxe, where someone farmed out also an airdrop. And he used several wallets, and we also see that there was a question about, I think PancakeSwap was an incentive from PancakeSwap. So we can even trace back about the contract interaction. This is another Chainlink token transfer. This is lately happened on Base. Base also had this kind of Galxe competition where you can earn points if you buy an NFT and then you claim your points. And this guy was very smart. He bought just one NFT, sent it to a next wallet, then he claimed the points there, sent it to the next wallet, claimed another points there, and so he only bought one NFT. And this is not the thinking about these incentives that you buy with every wallet one NFT, and so he came around the system quite easy. Meanwhile, Galaxy, after I informed them about this, they have now a code behind, also algorithm where they detect direct transfers and cut them out. Also, what can do is developing your own contracts and your own tools. Here we have a guy, he's called Yuri. He used exactly this on Galxe that he farmed out, very smart, over a script that he used here. And also what he did on Base, he was creating his own disperser contract. So he was not using disperser or bulk transfer apps. He created his own contract and dispersed small amount of Ether in 2,000 wallets. And from this 2,000 wallets, he also created some more contracts. So he has, I think he ended up with 3,000 wallets right now on Base, where he has small amounts of Ether inside. And he try also to hope that there will be an airdrop on Base. So how we trace this all back? Mostly it happened with SQL querying, like Dune Analytics, Footprint, Nansen, Flipside. But also there are kind of really special apps around, like Scope Scan. This image before that I showed was, for example, from Scope Scan. This one. So you can see directly on Scope Scan where the people send money to, and you can even see directly clusterings. Then we have also Truster Labs, Arkham, and Bubble Maps. Bubble Maps is specific about also tokens developers to find out if they have sub-wallets where they send a token tool, which I showed in the start. And Forter. Forter is kind of a monitoring system. And they also have a new technology where you can kind of program machine learning inside and a fast detection. And what's also around is the open data community. This is kind of a Discord group, a DAO, where they come together and build this kind of Legos, like SQL queries, specific to detect Sybils and frauds. They was founded out of Gitcoin and get some bounties from Gitcoin and grants. And meanwhile, they're also working very hard with Arbitrum together. So now the question, how to solve this? And this is a massive question, because at the end we can only increase economy cost, like asking for a stake, get something around that they earn less that they put in. Like I think Tina, there was also some people that say, oh, we have so small airdrop and the gas fee is too high to claim this airdrop. So that's the thing, if you down there have 100 wallets, you in the end spend more money to claim the airdrop than you get. Analytics, which is in my point really crucial, because at the end you can solve this really only by analytics, by live tracking. There's also human verification, but I mean also there captures and all the stuff. You can still go around if you have a good bot for this. Also KYC could be something, but still a lot of users don't like KYC, and this gives a hard barrier. The future, maybe there's some kind of zero knowledge technology that you have your decentralized ID, something like Gitcoin already has. But even then, there's no 100% sure that you really can detect everybody. And I mean, even with KYC, we see what happened lately, that some people are using AI to faking new identities, passports, and going to central exchanges and making accounts there. So even this stuff with AI, there's a discrepancy between. Now I'm coming also to an example from digital identity, decentralized identity. So this is a guy who was on Gitcoin, and even Gitcoin later came back to me and asked, are you really sure about these findings? So this guy has a Gitcoin passport with a score of 33, and he even created sub-wallets with a score of 16, which in my opinion is even quite high, because I have only a Gitcoin score of 22. So even there, with his Sybils, he was that good that he created Twitter accounts, Discord, Facebook, Gmail, and so he get this kind of reputation like a human. So, any questions around?
Thank you very much. Any questions from the audience?
The best Sybil attack that ever happened?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, there was nowadays a guy on ZK Sync. I think this was probably one of the best, smartest one, because he created his own token. I mean, when we look at how incentive will be distributed, Arbitrum had this kind of where they say you need like 5 contract interactions, you have to bridge into the network, etc. So this guy on ZK Sync, he was really smart. He created his own token. He claimed with 20,000 wallets his airdrop. He created his own DEX, which is not accessible for us all. He swapped there, he swapped back, he used the bridge with all these 20,000 wallets. So this is quite smart. I mean, if he would be smarter, then he would even use some other technology, but you can also connect with me if you're also in this field of research, and then we can speak, but I mean, it's always a little bit tricky to say what is the best Sybil attack, because it's also now live streaming and everybody can see this and say, ah, this is a good idea, I will.
What motivates you to stay on the light side?
Sorry?
What motivates you to stay on the research side versus the attacker side?
What state we are?
Why are you a Sybil researcher and not a Sybil attacker?
Why I'm a researcher, not a Sybil attacker? I mean, the thing is, when you want to think about this, then you must think like a black. But somehow I don't want to undergo the pillars of decentralized finance. And this is the thing. We want to have a fair distribution of airdrops and everything. So yeah, I could be a black hat, I could do everything. I mean, everybody in this room probably has knowledge to be more black than white. But why should I use it? I mean, it's still unfair, and I'm more really interested in these really deep cases, and I really like to discover this.
Hi, yeah, thanks for the presentation, really interesting. So, as an addition to this previous question, how do you, obviously we all agree that it's unethical to, create thousands of bots and, chase the airdrops. And how, like, if there's any strategy to counter that, for example, if we look at like, traditional platforms like HackerOne, where we would target the same hackers, but make them name them like as ethical hackers, to see if we can use their resources to, give them bounties and have, if there's something specific for this Sybil strategy to. Are you searching for one of the slides where I probably missed that
So,
information?
for example, Hop was using exactly this. So when you was taking part in Hop, from every Sybil that you detected, you get, I think it was 50% of the tokens. You get directly paid out, I think it was 10%, and the rest of this 30% was staying into a contract. Also, Connext had the same like this. Every Sybil that you detected, you get 25% from the Sybil, from what they was eligible to claim.
You mean like if you found someone who was doing it, or if you detected vulnerability? Yeah?
If I found someone, yeah. Yeah, but I mean, there's always kind of how you know that it's a really Sybil hunter, or is it even a own Sybil that he reports his own addresses? I mean, this can be also then the issue, because exactly this. Unfortunately, the data from Connext was removed, but I would really love into this rumor what happens lately there, because at the end he could even say his own wallets to save this 25% then instead of getting 0.
Oh, take the cut, but kind of turn on the ethical side of this.
Sorry?
Well, I mean, yeah. All right, thank you. Yeah.
Thanks for the great talk. I have a question for the first slides you presented. You showed some airdrops, and you said, okay, 20% went to Sybils for Arbitrum, for example. How do you get this this number?
So this number is not really 100% sure, but I also made some post-mortem analysis, and lately there was also from Arbitrum DAO a grant where they now do a post-mortem analysis, but this 20% I would say quite accurate. And this is also something that other researchers found out. This is kind of, what I say it like here, this kind of fly trap that you look later after claiming where this money flows into, like especially when someone claims with 100 wallets. There are some, sorry to say, stupid guys, they send it directly to one wallet, and then you have all this connection there and see, oh, 100 wallets send all their claimed airdrop into one wallet. And this is how you can get these numbers around.
So it's a lower bound, because if someone was smart and didn't do this, then you wouldn't detect them, right?
Sorry?
If someone did not send all their funds into a single wallet, then maybe it would be, you wouldn't even detect them.
Yeah.
But yeah, makes sense, thanks.
Okay, thank you very much. We are running out of time, but in 1 hour during the networking session, you can ask Benjamin more questions. Thank you very much again. Big round of applause to Benjamin.
Thanks.